afternoon, everybody. My name is Donna Feazell, and I'm your host of Afternoon Drive Home on IC Radio. In North Alabama, we are local channel 182 on Charter Communications and worldwide on Abundance TV, which is found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. I wanted to thank Rob Patz for making that happen. Thank you, Rob. It's always great to have you on the show. Rob made an announcement on the last show last Monday, which is pretty exciting. And this is Australia is actually going to be carrying this network, which is going to add another 1 million viewers. So we're proud of that happening too. So again, thank you so much for making that happen. I am among some of my favorite folks right here. And this is with the Impact Learning Center. I wanted to say, first of all, thank you guys for everything you're doing in the community. And all of you folks who are actually watching worldwide, you're thinking about moving to some town in Alabama, right here would be a good spot right here, Scottsboro, Alabama. I have Angie Himberg with me, and she's technology coordinator, and Debbie Barkley's a board member for the Impact Learning Center, but she's going to be talking about the new Dolly Parton project that's happening pretty soon. Thank you, guys. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Donna. We appreciate you having us.
Oh, anytime. You know, this is an open forum for you right here. Angie, let's go ahead and get started with you. I know that you guys have quite a few things, and the word free always gets my attention, always. What do you got going on at the Impact Learning Center?
Free stuff. We have a lot of free services. To begin with, I'll talk about our computer classes. We have been in the process for the last 6 months or so of revamping our computer lab. We have all new computers, new monitors, everything is brand new through a couple of different grants that we received, and we were able to update our lab, and we're real proud of it. We can't wait for everyone to see it. We've never quite had a lab this nice before, because we're a nonprofit. We just take what we can get. But we were very blessed to have gotten these grants, and we're able to, we have all brand new printers, equipment, programs. We have the most up-to-date programs on our computers now. We teach all of the Microsoft programs, social media classes, marketing classes, designing classes. We're working on a lot of new classes to offer now that we have these new upgraded programs. And again, our classes are totally free to anyone who wants to come and take them. They're 100% free.
Now, folks need to let you know when they can attend. Is that right? Just make sure you got enough room.
Yes, on our website, impactlearningcenter.com, you can go and see the class schedule, and you can just give us a call and register over the phone for any class you want to come to, because we do print those manuals and get things prepared for the class, so we need a head count. But you just give us a call and let us know what class you want us to attend, and we'll get you signed up. The classes are different each month because we offer over 20 classes. And so we kind of alternate each month. So if you miss something 1 month, you'll be able to catch it again in the future.
Yeah, that sounds really good. We're getting a real good view. And next time you guys are on the show, you're going to have to be closer up so everybody can see those pretty faces of yours. But we're getting a real good view of the classroom right there. And it looks really accommodating.
Well, now this is actually our meeting room.
Oh, okay.
We're not in we had some internet issues in the classroom this morning because we're still getting things set up, and so this is not the actual classroom. Okay. So hopefully next time we Zoom, we can be in that room. But we had to move to the meeting room this morning. But yes, you can see back here behind me this big huge monitor. That's something new that will be in this room in the future, and it's mobile. We can use it around different offices if we need to. But we just got that last week, and it's an interactive monitor that we'll be Zooming on and be able to do some other classes with that in this room that we might not be able to do in the computer lab.
Let's talk just for a few minutes about what the Impact Learning Center is all about.
Okay. Well, the Impact Learning Center started in the 90s to improve literacy and education in Jackson County because the high school dropout rate was around 40% back then. It was extremely high. And so long story short, I guess, a group of people got together and created the 21st Century Council to create an organization that would offer higher education opportunities like these computer classes and other things that Impact does. We partner with the school systems and the local colleges to give that option for people to improve their education at free, at no cost to them. So that's kind of how Impact got started, and it's just grown and developed into what it is now, which is a lot of new programs, again, partnering with the school systems and with the colleges, but then also just, I guess, some opportunities that we have found on our own, like what Miss Debbie Barker is going to tell you about in just a few minutes, like the Delhi Park Library. We just try to do anything that we can that will improve our community, in education, and particularly in workforce development.
Absolutely. Yeah. And we're go
Can I
ahead.
add a little bit? We do everything from classes in here for senior citizens for Medicare to inform them about how to do that. People do interviews in here. There's classes from the college that come down here. It is a wide variety. We try to do the whole gambit. So we go to the schools and talk to sixth graders about staying in school. We have all the ninth graders in the county come here and do a expo where they're exposed to lots of different careers, and hope to push them in that direction to finish school and check that career box. So lots of things. And we're always looking for something too. So impact means from what I'm talking about, birth to senior citizens. So it's a really great nonprofit.
It is, Debbie, and I'm so glad to have now you. Debbie Barkley is with us as well, and Debbie is a member of Impact Learning Center, a board director, board member, and we're really glad to have you on the show. Debbie, let's talk with some folks right now who are listening worldwide, who are thinking about, maybe expanding their businesses. Maybe they would like to have a business beginning in Jackson County, and I just got to say, the folks there are really good in Jackson. If you want to find some hard workers, it's a good place to start a business.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think the municipalities, the mayors, the county commission, they're all working together to better the environment here. We have it all here. We have the Tennessee River, Lake Gunnersville, hunting, fishing. We're putting in lots of new stores to include Publix and TJ Maxx and lots of different things. So we're trying to upgrade us all the way around, school systems, and that's what this part of my little thing is all about, the literacy and keeping kids focused. We work through Liberty Learning, which is another project of ours, and we try to keep people focused in the right direction. So
yeah, that's hard to do with us these days because we have so many distractions right now. Talk to us, Debbie, and Angie, talk to us about this, what you should do and not do on a job interview, because we're in a different world now. We're not living in the 70s when I was going to school. This is different.
Well, you probably do more of the interviews here than I do, but go ahead.
Well, as far as you're right, a lot of things have changed, even just in the last 10 to 15 years. Even the way we design our resumes, people can walk in and we can help them with a resume. But 10, 15 years ago, when I first started working here, there was a particular format that you formed or followed for a resume, and now those things have changed too. A lot of people don't use objectives anymore. It's just everything's went digital. A lot of people who want to fill out a job application, you've got to be able to use the computer to get on there to fill out that job application. There's not a lot of handwritten applications anymore. As far as interview skills, I think those are probably, some has changed. Yes, there's a lot of Zoom interviews like we're doing right now, a lot of phone interviews now. There's not as many face-to-face until I guess you get to those last stages. But a lot of interview processes now start with just a phone interview or a Zoom interview like this. But there's a lot of tips. We have mock interview sessions we do with people. We can put them through training classes to kind of teach them do's and don'ts of interviewing. Just some of the things off the top of my head is a lot of people don't think about this, and this is actually a really big thing we hear in the HR meetings, is scents, like smells. And HR people tell us all the time that if you walk in their office with an overwhelming smell of perfume or cologne or maybe smoke or something, it immediately just turns them off because they can't really think and focus on anything else. People don't think about those things. And that's the kind of stuff that we teach in those workshops.
hmm And I'll tell you something else. And I did this. I used to be corporate with GTE, and the hot weather, the humid weather sometimes can kind of give you an odor when you walk into a place. So I always kept Febreze in my car, just in case.
Okay.
Just I spray that on myself. And I get what you mean about perfume odors, because while I love Chantilly lace, some people don't, and it could be a huge master turnoff. So you're right. The good clean smell is the best thing. But let's talk for a few minutes about cell phones, okay? Because cell phones, if you're talking to an old person like me and you're interviewing with me, if I see you walk in with your cell phone and you're on it constantly, I'm going to wonder if you're going to be doing that the entire time you're on the job.
Absolutely. That's definitely something we talk about, especially with the younger the 20s and 30s who've grown up with cell phones since they were very young, a lot of them. You never see them without a cell phone. And so that's something we really try to focus on, is leave it in the car. Don't even bring it into an interview. You'll be okay for that 30-minute interview without your cell phone. So we do talk about that, and just talking about answering questions. Always go in with a couple of questions prepared in your own mind to ask them. Because a lot of times at the end of the interview, their last thing is going to be, do you have any questions for me? And if you say, no, I'm good, and just walk out, that's not a bad thing necessarily. But if you have questions for them, it shows that you're really interested in the job.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'll tell you something I wish we'd had back in my old day in the 70s. I wish we'd had internet, because internet is a great way to find out more about that business you're going to be interviewing with. And that shows a lot of interest when you've done a little homework about that company.
Absolutely. If you come in ignorant on the company you're trying to interview with, that doesn't fare well for you. So do your homework.
Absolutely.
If you really want the job.
Yeah, if you really want it, absolutely. I'm gonna tell you what, if I were young right now, I'd be holding down two of those jobs. I'd have a house paid off in no time with a car. Now I'd sponge off my parents until I got the house paid for. But up to that, so the whole opportunity right there is just right there in your hands. I mean, it's just waiting on you to get out there and run for it. Now let's talk for just a few minutes about dress code, and then I'm going to talk about that Dolly Parton project that you guys are working on as well. But let's talk about dress, do's and don'ts.
Don't wear your pajamas. No, I mean, really, a lot of kids, especially with COVID, everything went so casual that those pajama pants are like, woo, yeah, no, that's probably that's not your best foot forward.
Right. Definitely nothing low cut, nothing too short. We always tell everyone, just wear pants. I don't care if it's 100 degrees outside, just wear pants. Open-toed shoes are really not a bad thing, but you want to look professional. I always tell people, dress for the job you want, not the job you have. Okay. And so, you should dress, be prepared. If you were going to take a picture, I tell people this too. Say if the newspaper were to walk in, they were going to take your picture, put it on the front page. You need to dress prepared for that when you go into any interview.
Absolutely. Let's talk just for a second about some of the old-fashioned ideas. My granddads, both of them, would say, you know what, when you go on that job interview, you look them in the eyeballs. And a good firm handshake, is that out of style?
Definitely not. That's still very important. You want to always look them in the eye. That handshake is important. We tell everyone that too. Shake their hand when you enter, shake their hand when you leave. Thank them for their time to give you that interview.
Absolutely. Well, I'm really excited. I love Dolly Parton. I am a huge fan.
Who doesn't love Dolly?
Everybody loves Dolly. So
she's
you
a national hero. She really is a national hero. So can I launch my bit? Here at Impact, we look for every facet. And one group of children that have not been looked really at is 0 to 5 as you launch into kindergarten. And so Dolly Parton started her imagination library in her hometown in Tennessee and has stretched it to the entire country. What else? Australia, Canada, United Kingdom, Republic of Ireland, and the United States. So it is huge. They have, it is a book gifting project that we launched as an affiliate with them. So basically, the way it works is we register kids from birth to 5 years of age, and with no look at income or any of that. We just want their name, address, birth date, and a parent signature on our registration. Okay, so we put them in the file there with her foundation. They mail a book to this child every month, age appropriate, quality book, for a book every month for all year for 5 years. And when they turn 5, then they launch them into kindergarten. But that means that that child has a library of 60 books.
Oh, wow.
60 books. So they're not behind anybody out there. They've become friends with books. They have an opportunity for their parents to read them the books, or grandparents keep them, and it is their own. And they get familiar with books. It becomes a habit. They look forward to getting the book. And the only thing that, of course, nothing's ever really free, but we fall under Impact. We're going to be a division of Impact because of their nonprofit status. So Dolly Parton requires that. And they will mail the books out at bulk rates. So that's what we're responsible for. So that's a $2.10 charge every month for a brand new book.
That's not bad.
I mean, when you think about it, and here in Jackson County, we have an estimated 2,700 children that would fall in that age group. And I just think it's a win-win. We offer them something that they may not get. And in this day and time when money's tough and budgets are harder, when you have to make those decisions of what you actually spend your money on, this may be that we can eliminate them having to think about books for their brand new children. So I think it's a perfect project. And we started asking the community to help support us. And I mean, it's $126 for one child for the entire 5 years. So it's really a doable project. It's just a matter of launching it and getting the groundwork done and getting the supporters out there. And we've started with the cities and the corporations here in Jackson County and individuals, and that is it in a nutshell. But I think it's a very worthy project, and I think people will just come out of the woodwork wanting to support it.
I think so. You got my support. I'm all for this.
What's better than a brand new book? And those kids get it, and their friends may have it. And so we'll launch out into, we haven't started registering people yet because I think it's the responsible thing to get the finances in place first,
Right.
and that we can sustain it.
Mhm.
And then we start our registering with pediatric clinics and hospitals and daycare centers and word of mouth and churches, and we'll launch. That's our second piece, and I don't think it'll be hard to do. I think it's
Well,
easy.
let me help you with
Easy
that.
sell.
I want to help you with that second piece too, with the Cowboy Church. Lots and lots of kids go to these churches.
Oh,
And so
great!
I'm excited about that. And there's also, I'm about to start another new talk show. It's called Dakota Donna. And I get to dress up like a clown, which I'm like one anyway. So why not get to dress up like one? And I'll be talking with kids, kind of like an old Cousin Cliff show or something like that. So I'm really excited about that. And I'll see if I can get in contact with Dolly Parton as well and see if we can launch it through the show. That would be another great way of getting it out there. I wanted to mention something else. Saying this, but my son is now 43 years old. But before he was born, we didn't have sonograms and stuff like that back in that day. And my grandmother, she said, totally, she said, this is what I want you to start doing. When I found out I was going to have him, she said, you need to start reading to him now. Well, we didn't know if it was going to be a girl or a boy yet, but she said, start reading to the baby now. And I said, now? I was young, I said, now? And she said, yeah, that baby can hear you. That baby is going to be very smart if you'll start reading to it now. And I did. And I'm going to tell you, boy, I got a smart son. I've got to say so myself. He walks around with a book in his hand all the time. He's an avid reader. And she was right about that.
You get credit for that, Donna. You get big credit. And that's what we want to offer these families that it comes every month. They don't have to plan it. It's there, it's there, it's there. And I just think they can build a relationship with books that they may not have. And because you get it in school, you'll get it. So this 0 to 5, and somebody goes, well, what does a newborn need with a book? Well, it's a relationship with their parents. They get to become familiar with them, and they hear it. I just think it's a win-win.
And I want to add to it, like Debbie said a few minutes ago, it's $126 for 60 books. That is for 5 years. That $126 will provide 60 books to a child. That's not a lot of money when you think of it like that they're going to get 60 books from birth to age 5.
Well, try buying 60 books.
Right.
It'd be a lot more than that.
And to add to that, it's shipped directly to their house. They don't have to go out and shop or look. It just comes in the mail every month. It's a great program.
Mm-hmm. I think it is too. I think it's an awesome program. There's just nothing more important than your child learning to read, and as soon as possible. And then that way they get into the
world to you. It opens the whole world to you. And that's part of what we do here at Impact. You can. The first book she sends out is The Little Train That Could. And everybody read that
book.
So, and then the last book they have is launches them into kindergarten. But it is a fantastic, proven effort all over the country. And I think Jackson County needs to join.
We need to.
I'm gonna buy. You talk about costumes. I'm gonna buy me a blonde wig. I'm gonna start wearing that around.
So we're in the process right now of getting sponsors and getting people to who wants to be involved and who wants to help fund the program to provide the books for all these children.
Mm-hmm. Plus, you got to have a relationship with the post office. And I didn't know we have 16 post offices in Jackson County. I had no idea. So it's it's all gonna fall into place, but real excited about it.
Yeah.
Really.
Oh, I am too. And there's just not a better gift. I was thinking of individuals. If you're thinking, well, I don't have any kids, I don't have any grandkids, I don't, whatever. You can actually sponsor in honor of someone.
Sure.
If your parents or your grandparents were avid readers and you had a grandmother like my grandmother was, I mean, it would be an awesome thing to sponsor that in her honor, because she is the reason my son is an avid reader. I really believe it.
Books will raise your literacy, and that's what we're trying to do. All the schools are trying to raise our literacy here in Jackson County, and this is a great beginning. And there's no question about it that it's a great thing to invest in.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I remember when
you're invested in the kids, you're invested in workforce. It all adds up. It all adds up.
And for the person who says, I have no skin in the game, yeah, you do. You got neighbors who move in by you. So that's skin in the game. You want them to be very professional. You want them to read. You want them to be very smart. That's going to be great neighbors someday.
Well, people that are well read and pay attention and start, and they work better. They're happier. They vote. They're just active in your community. So you got building blocks, from birth on up. So that's what we're here about. Really,
I'll have to tell you, the first books I remember reading, and this was in school. Well, we had all the little golden books. We had all of those, Little Train That Could, and all of that. The Little Red Hen, that was a good one right there. But the ones I really went after in the library were the Pippi Longstockings books. Pippi Longstockings. And I loved Pippi Longstockings. And this is just another thing, because my parents didn't have the best marriage. But books to me growing up where I could take myself away from that, and I could be in my own little world and be in adventures with Pippi Longstockings. And that means a lot.
Oh yeah. Nancy Drew, all of that. I mean, just, you relate to them, and then you do well. You just, there's no downside to it. There's just no downside.
And the thing about, and I like watching television shows, and I hope you watch this one, Afternoon Drive Home. We hope you do that. But there's something about a book, opening that book and using your imagination as to the setting You know, what you talk, let's talk about Pippi Longstocking. She was always getting herself in trouble. She would go on a stowaway boat ship or something like that all the time. But I could use my imagination to imagine where she was. And I think we need to open up the imagination of children now.
Yes, yes. 100%. Way to go, Donna.
Yeah, absolutely. And let them learn how to think, you know?
Yes.
When I talk to our boys are 22 and 20, and honestly, just recently when we got involved in the Dolly Parton, this whole project, the 20-year-old, I asked him, I said, do you remember when you were little, always crawling into my lap and me reading you all those books? And he could remember the names of the books and what the books were about and the buttons that you would push sometimes to make certain noises. You know how books had little noises. He remembered all of that. And so it does make a difference. It does make a difference. And these kids do need these books because they may, like Deborah said, they may not be able to get them otherwise.
Right. And I'll tell you something I did with my son too. I always let him, you know, some folks say don't turn the pages, don't put the little corners of the pages. Don't do that to a book. I let him do it. That was his book to do whatever he wanted to. And I would let him take the right little notes in there when he started writing. And
Sure.
it's a treasure. I mean, books are definitely a treasure. And I like books. I like all of that stuff too. But there's just something about a book turning the page. And I think we've lost, it's an art. I feel like we've lost that. I'm so proud of you guys. I'm glad you're bringing this back.
Well, we're happy. We're thrilled with the whole thing, and it's all about the building blocks to get successful adults. And
They're our future. They're the future of our community.
yes, you're investing in a good thing.
Mhm.
So,
And that means more folks will want to come in and open businesses. It's going to be more successful. They won't be moving away. The kids will actually want to stay in Jackson County.
yes, come back here. Right.
And that's what we're after. Okay, guys, less than 2 minutes left in this segment. It flew by. It's been such a good time. What would you like to say?
Thank you.
I'm sorry, Dawn, I didn't hear that last question.
Oh, what would you like to say before we go? Just a little bit over a minute and a half.
Well, just let us know how we can help you. If you're looking for anyone's listening that's looking for a job or needs a resume or needs to brush up on computer skills, has a child they want to register, or they want to help fund the Dolly Parton program. If you want to get involved in Impact with our other programs like the Choices program, where we need volunteers to go into the schools and deliver or present our Choices program to the students, just come by Impact and talk to us. We want to help any way that we can. If we don't have the answer, we'll point you in the right direction.
1 minute. Let's talk about the van. You guys have this awesome van.
Yeah, we didn't talk about the van.
Yeah, the skills van. I think the last time we did an interview, we were still getting it set up, but now it is fully set up. We have the monitors and everything installed. It's an 8-person computer lab. It's a mobile hotspot. I've been going to different towns in Jackson County, setting up and doing resume workshops. We've been to Stevenson and Pisgah and Woodville, and we're going to be in Section, I believe, in October. So the van can be used if there's an organization who needs assistance with Wi-Fi or wants us to help them set up a job fair, get in touch with us and we can bring it to you.
Absolutely.
Skills on wheels.
There you go. Debbie, Angie, thank you so much for being on the show today. I think you're awesome.
Thank you,
Donna. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Y'all have a great rest of the day. And you guys hang around for our next guest coming up in just a few minutes. Y'all hang in there, okay? Bye, girls.